Hey guys, this is the Subaru 2-liter Forester Lineartronic. Lineartronic is really just a nice way of saying CVT automatic, but we'll come back to that. What you actually get here, of course, being a Subaru, you get a 2-liter flat 4-cylinder engine. By flat 4, I mean the cylinders are like this rather than like this. Produces about 150 horsepower and 168 newton meters of torque, which is about 268 pounds-foot of torque. And it drives all wheels, all 4 wheels. It's got what Subaru call a symmetrical all-wheel drive, and by that they are claiming it to be more stable and have a better distribution of torque to all 4 wheels. Why the emphasis on the all-wheel drive? Because it's a Subaru and it likes to go off-road. And as such, it's got 220 millimeters of ground clearance. It's got a 25-degree approach angle and a 26-degree departure angle. But we're not going to be taking it off-road today despite this setting. We're going to be looking at how somebody in the real world would be using the car, and as such we want to look at what it has to offer in terms of space, comfort and equipment. So let's check out the boot. Before we do that, this thing has got a tow bar on there. It can tow up to 2,000 kilograms, that's what it's weighted at. The thing sticks out, might be a bit alarming in terms of you don't want to hit anything as you're backing up. No worries, it's got a reversing camera and that's standard. So a power tailgate, as you can see, takes a while, but believe me, it'll open. There you go. And actually a really quite spacious boot. It's got a cover, of course, and under here it's got an underfloor compartment, which is quite useful actually, because it's got little boxes and spaces to keep stuff. And under that actually is a space saver. If I can open it, there you go. There's a space saver spare wheel. So no tire repair kit, but an actual space saver, which is actually useful and important if you do actually go off-road. As for the rear seats, they're split folding, 60-40, and you can see that there's a light and there's a hook to carry your bags, and here there's a button, and so watch what happens when I press the button. That's virtually flat, and again the same thing on the other side, and on this side you also have a power supply as well, you see, and the same deal. So if I do that, there it goes. So really quite spacious, quite handy, a lot of space in the boot. Is there much space in the rear passenger compartment? I'll go check that out. So here we are in the back. This seat is set for me, obviously. I'm 6'2", and as you can see I got plenty of knee room and loads of room for my feet as well. Decent headroom too. No USB here, no AC vents, so that's a little bit of a surprise there in such a well-equipped car. Otherwise you've got deep compartments here, you've got pockets, and you've got a center armrest here which has 2 cup holders. You also have little guides to tell you how to adjust the headrest. That's useful information. In addition to that, here's a bit of a surprise. Now these seats, if I can find a little pull tag here, a little pull cord, there it is, I found it, I can actually recline and give myself even more room. Isn't that nice, isn't it? And of course it's got Isofix child seat anchor points. So, and leather upholstery, of course, in this top of the range car. So yeah, not too bad as well. Actually quite comfortable, quite spacious, quite airy. Is it the same in the front? Time to find out. Ah, there it is. My hat. Check me out at Brown Car Guy. So let's start it up. It's very well equipped, this car. And in the middle there you have a display that gives you miles per hour, but it also will give you other information as well. So if I press these buttons here, and then I'll come back to what that drive thing is as well. But in addition to that monitor there, you've got another monitor here, which, you know, as well as giving you the AC display up here, it's got dual zone climate control on this car, and actually very, very good. It's also got this meter here, which gives you a lot of information about efficiency and how you're driving and stuff, including, in fact, it will tell you how efficient you were on this trip as opposed to your previous trip. So say for example somebody else in the family was driving it, and then you got in and you drove it and you said, they did how many miles per gallon? Yeah, it's a bit of a telltale, isn't it? But anyway, so at the moment 26.1 miles per gallon is what I've been getting around town, and 230-mile range on just over half a tank. It's not bad. This is a 7-inch monitor, full infotainment system, decent stereo system, sounds good. It's got DAB radio and USB connectivity. There's 2 USBs in here, and in fact there's a coin box there, a tray, you can get rid of that, and there's a deeper box down there. Only 2 USBs, but no Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I don't know why that is, but it does have sat-nav and all the rest of it. Dual zone climate control, as I've said, and down here you've got a little tray with, you can check your tire pressure there. You've got another power supply there, little tray there. There you have drive mode. So X mode actually is for off-roading. And what it will do is automatically activate, hill descent, but also adjust the throttle, the braking, and the transmission for better off-roading. And also you can use it in the rain and in very slippery conditions, like if it's been snowing and stuff like that. You've got heated seats, of course, as well. And there's your CVT gearbox, which actually does have paddle shifts as well on this. Normal handbrake, and then 2 cup holders down there. On the steering wheel there's lots of remote controls, and in fact you can set your cruise control. It's got a lot of kit. It's got active cruise control, it's got lane keep assist, it's also got what they call eyesight, which is actually cameras in the front that detect obstacles, and it can even do collision mitigation, actually even do braking by itself if it has to. Voice control, you can operate all of these systems through voice control. That's where you operate the trip meters and stuff like that. And over here you can set the height for the tailgate. That's for the headlights, so you can the headlights actually swivel with the steering wheel, so they are LED headlights, and they actually are responsive as well. All power lights and all the rest of it. Memory adjust for this seat. In fact, it's very well equipped. You get the regular model and you get this model, and I can tell you, I've got to look it up, that the difference between the lesser model, the only thing that they don't get is the leather upholstery and the memory for the driver's seat, the keyless entry and start button, which is there, and the sat nav. Otherwise you get everything else the same as this car. Price difference, that one is £30,000 and this one is £32,500, around that much. Frankly, you'd go for the better one, wouldn't you? But yeah, very, very safe. In fact, it's got a Euro NCAP rating of a full 5 stars. So, and with all of the safety systems we've got on the car, it's a great place to transport your family in. This massive sunroof, I've got to mention this by the way, because it really brings a nice sense of spaciousness to this cabin. What's it like on the go? Let's find out. So now, as I was mentioning, it's got driving modes, and it's got 2 driving modes, and you can operate them from these buttons here, S and I. S, of course, is sports mode, and in sports mode what it does is it improves the acceleration response. Now the acceleration has to be said, 0 to 62 miles per hour, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 11.8 seconds, top speed of 119 miles per hour. Having said that, the initial acceleration on this car I found to be pretty prompt, and in the real world, around town and all of this sort of stuff, I've never found it to be an issue moving away from junctions or moving into roundabouts. It's not felt sluggish. It's when you get going a little bit and you put your foot down, so maybe not try and pull off audacious overtaking maneuver. Now the intelligent mode is all about, basically it's for cruising and it's for efficiency, so it's to improve your fuel consumption and all the rest of it. Driving this car around, especially with the sunroof slider open, it feels like you're in something that's a bit older, It feels like you've got a lot of light, because older cars that have thinner pillars with a lot of light coming in. That's kind of what this feels a bit like. A lot of space in here, a lot of comfort. The windscreen just sweeps way off over there, so there's, gives me a huge sense of space in front here. I've got quarter lights here, big windows here, so very spacious. Visibility all around, no problem. Reversing rear camera, not an issue. Great side mirrors as well. So again, acceleration, not bad initially, and also this is the thing about, we mentioned the CVT. Now with the CVT, you only really get a sense of it when you do that. When you start to try and pick up speed and you try to move it, then you sort of get a sense that it is a CVT. The rest of the time you can forget about the fact that it's got CVT. even seem to be, you're not even aware of it. You just don't notice it at all. What you do end up with is a pretty good ride actually on this car, especially on these bumpy roads around town. It's obviously set up for comfort, for family comfort. So it's got a very pliant, very comfortable ride. A lot of suspension travel obviously because it's an off-roader. But it's not a car really that, even in, let me just put it into sports mode and I can accelerate in that. Okay, and the initial acceleration, initial response is definitely a little bit better. And, there's a little bit more torque coming through at slightly higher revs. But then, you're going to be using the fuel a bit more. But so having said that, I'm going to put it back into intelligence drive because really it's not the sort of car that you're going to be driving around like that. What you want from this car is cruisability, comfort, ease of driving. It has all of those. It's a big car with a lot of space, but it doesn't feel it on the road. It's very easy to drive. It feels actually quite compact to drive. And yet there's plenty of space for everybody in here and their luggage. Braking, no issue whatsoever. Very linear, very solid. No problems at all. That's just the lane keep. So every time you swerve across without indicating, then it detects lines on the road and it just gives you a beep. It can also take control of the brakes and the steering wheel, and you can set all of that up as well. So it's got a lot of safety features. Very, very handy. Very easy to drive, very comfortable to drive, and very comfortable place to be in. Overall, I think I've got to give it a thumbs up. It's really good. I think it's actually, especially with the kit that you get on the car, and they've simplified it. So there's two models, and they're both pretty well equipped. If you can afford $2.5 grand extra, just go for the top spec because that's the one to go for. This is this one. Otherwise, yeah, thumbs up. Good car. Hope you enjoyed the review. Let us know what you thought of the car, the review, or anything else. It'd be absolutely great to hear from you. And so until the next one, see you then. So here we go. Of course, I'm 6'2". This seat is set for me. I've got plenty of leg room, as you can see. Plenty of room.
Room number.
Huh?
Got my room number.
For goodness sakes. In the middle of a take?
I think that would be a really funny shot.
No, it would be a good outtake. Goodness sakes. What the heck? Seriously? Okay. Keep rolling. Same one.